You're listening to Navid Moosa of the Mindset Movement.
Good day, good people. My name is Navid Moosa. I'm your host, saying always for the Mindset Movement. Each and every week, we try to bring you guys value here, talk about mindset of a business owner or just the mindset of someone who wants to be better every single day. And this week, no different. Listen, new time listeners, we appreciate the opportunity to earn your trust. We appreciate you stopping here when we know there's a lot of information out there. Long time listeners, thanks for being loyal to us. We love you just as much, if not more. Having said that, look, we get into it right away. So this week's topic is watch your mouth. Now, here's what I mean by that. You need to know, in my opinion, um, who your audience is, who you're talking to. Now, that sounds like a Captain Obvious statement, but I was having a discussion with my brother who's, going through a rut, he said, and, we were talking about some stuff. And when I gave him my opinion and some feedback, he said, I was listening to you because the way you articulate things, like you always you speak my language. And I told him, I said, well, first of all, thank you. I appreciate you listening to me, right? And thanks for taking my advice, at least adhering to it. But most importantly, the reason why I think I'm able to articulate the way I do when I'm talking to you or to anybody else is you have to know your audience. You should know who you're coming across and meeting every single day. So when you're talking to them and you're trying to get a point across to them, you have to almost customize it. And here's what I mean. My brother, in this particular example, is a very strong religious individual. He's a very man of faith. And so when I was talking, giving examples, I would throw in God. I would throw in Jesus Christ. I would throw in those names to help bring out why he was feeling certain ways and why he should think this particular manner, or why I felt he should think in this particular manner, because that resonated with him. And I knew that was going to resonate with him. And that's why I told him, I was like, I know you're a strong man of faith. So I had to give you those examples, throwing those names into there because it was going to bring home. And I'm bringing that up because in business, or in someone who's just really trying to change your mindset in general about how you act or interact with people, is not everyone, as we do all very, very well know, not everyone's the same. People are so different in so many different facets of life that to have to talk to a group of people in one way for it to resonate is going to be very difficult. You almost have to cater it to each individual person. Right now, if you're talking in a group setting, yeah, you have to find a way to find a balance and bring your point home and do your best to not lose anybody in the crowd. But when you're having one-on-ones, it's very, very important to have a discussion with that person on a level they can understand. There's that skit in The Office, right? With the TV show The Office, and Oscar, the accounting, is trying to explain to Michael about when you have a surplus in your budget, and Michael keeps going back and says, explain to me like I'm five. Explain to me like because he couldn't get it. And Oscar, to his credit, kept trying to change it up, but that's what you have to do. You have to change it up. If someone comes to you and says, I don't get it, you cannot, at least I don't think you cannot, or nor should you get frustrated, like, oh, this is ridiculous, you're never going to get it, and storm off and leave. That's not going to solve anything, right? When someone says, I don't get it, you're like, okay, what don't you get? Like, ask them, what part don't you understand? Because they say they don't get it. How can you effectively communicate with them? If they say they don't get it, how can you explain it differently and make sure that when you explain it the second time, they do get it? So you have to be patient, number one, and you have to ask questions, number two. And number three, you have to make sure that the person you're speaking to is confident that they're confident and comfortable with you to ask questions. That's what you, in my opinion, you should really do. This open on communication, right? So if you tell somebody, hey, did you get it? I have an intern here, and I asked him something. I said, did you get it? He's like, uh-huh. And the way he responded, uh-huh, I know he didn't get it. And so I said, did you really get this? He was like, no. I mean, so I was pissed at first. I'm like, why didn't you tell me? He couldn't give me an answer. So I said, okay, listen, what don't you get about it? And he told me, I said, all right, fine, write it down. Like he refuses to write shit down, and that pisses me off, but he's gotten better at it, right? But he wouldn't have gotten better if he didn't open his mouth. He wouldn't have gotten better if I didn't open my mouth, and I wouldn't have gotten better if neither of us said anything, right? He could have said, and then I could say, okay, fine, I walked away. But I knew he was lying to me. I knew he really didn't get the concept and what I was trying to tell him. So that's why I said, are you sure you get it? And I'm glad he was comfortable and confident enough saying, no, I don't get it. You know, that made me have an extra sense of respect for him because he said the truth, right? Not just what I wanted to hear. I don't want to surround myself with a whole bunch of yes people, right? And that's a different topic. The topic we're here at hand is communication and knowing your audience, right? So even if someone says they agree or they get it, don't be afraid to ask, okay, repeat back to me what I told you in your words. That's the ultimate knowing if they really got it. So when I say watch your mouth in this podcast, it's not in a snarky sly way. It's a way of that, hey, it's watch how you're articulating because your audience needs to comprehend it. Because if you don't do that, you're wasting your time and their time. So you gotta, in my opinion, you gotta find a way to balance. And when you're talking to multiple people at the time, you gotta find of a high level common ground, if you will, that brings the point across when it is a larger crowd, and you want to definitely find out if it's a one-on-one things that they resonate with. So remember, the less time you are explaining something, the more production you can have in your day. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys today. Is just know your audience, get to take the time to know them, so you can definitely be of value to them, and they can definitely uh, learn and grow from you in your interaction. So um, that's what I got each and every weekend. The episode the same way. Just do right by the client, right? Do right by the client, and everything else will fall in place. I promise you that. Take care of the client, and everything else will fall right into place for you. Be good to each other. Be good to yourself. Be safe out there. You know what you need to do. Just do the right thing. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys next week.